Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is out, but is it fun? Turn the volume up, let's talk about it. Deep Rock Survivor has finally come out. It's done a full release. It was on early access or early release on PC. It is now out on PC and Xbox, PlayStation fans. And what is the game? It's a top-down roguelike shooter, I guess, but you don't really shoot very much. Set in the Deep Rock Galactic world. Probably the biggest difference between this and Deep Rock Galactic, outside of the camera perspective, is that it's only one of you. There is no co-op. It is just you on a mission to complete certain tasks while still in that environment. It's very similar to if you played games like Vampire Survivor, those sort of things. It's a roguelike. It's the top-down generative maps. You get the idea, and you can see it on the gameplay here just to give you a rough idea of the game. These sort of top-down roguelikes can be really hit and miss for me. I find that sometimes they don't straddle the line between like accomplishment and achievement and wanting to come back to the game, or if it becomes a bit of a dredge to complete some of the tasks, it can be a bit of a slog sometimes. This game, however, Deep Rock Galactic, does this so well. I really was looking forward to this game just because I played so much of the first one. And it's kind of nice to be back in the, I guess, ecosystem of Deep Rock Galactic. Just the sense of humor, the tone, the way the game sort of plays. I was pretty happy to come back here. And this, even though it is a completely different camera perspective and it is a different layout, it's still very easy to pick up, especially if you played Deep Rock Galactic before. You kind of know how some of the mechanics work, at least, what to be looking for, what to be mining. But the sense of progression, even if you fail in this roguelike, is really, really good. And it's so satisfying that you can just constantly be moving the football and creating a stronger character, so then you can unlock more things, so you can get more experience, and so then you can take on more advanced enemies, and then which in turn helps you unlock things. It's just a constant cycle. You're on the treadmill, but it does a really good job of like giving you those little sense of like ADHD, endorphin, little goblin snacks, just to be like, "Ooh, I did something." It's very good at doing that and giving you that little dopamine rush here and there. Just to keep you hooked on the game. But I am hooked. This game came out, 24 hours ago. I played more than 10 hours of it. I sometimes, just because I've got to play 10 hours of a game in such a short window to be able to review it, sometimes it can be a bit of a slog. Like, you know, it's not that the game's bad, just sometimes like sitting down and playing 10 hours of a game in one hit can be like a bit of a slog. I struggled to put this game down. Like, even when I had to go like, all right, I'll go get a coffee, I'll make some lunch. I really struggled to put this game down. Like, I just wanted to keep playing it and just keep progressing. Thus far, it has been a little bit repetitive, but like in the sense that like you kind of land, you go through 5 different stages where you sort of unlock some certain things, you beat an elite, you get out into an escape pod, and then you go deeper into the mine until you face a dreadnought. But I know as you get further and further along that there's different mission types, and even so, it has been, I would say, repetitive in the style of, you know, as the 5 missions and you face the dreadnought at the end. I would say instead of it saying it's repeating itself, it's just more rhyming. Like, every single zone is very different to itself. I've only ever done Hazard 1. But as you unlock little things and little trinkets and start to understand how the game plays, and every kind of run, you'll especially in that first 10-hour block, you'll think of something to try, and you'll see something that you hadn't noticed before in previous runs that will then make the runs further on much easier for you. So they do a good job of just letting the game breathe, letting it unfold. It doesn't really tell you a lot, which I must admit, the first 45 minutes was a little bit hard for me just because it didn't really tell me what was going on. I died a few times. But once I understood the game, I just had complete success with it. And now I think I'm sort of batting a little bit above my rate where I should be on my level, to be honest. Just because I'm understanding how the game works and how to funnel enemies and how to do things. But when you do get stuck and when you do make a mistake and you just know you're going to die, unlike other roguelikes, it doesn't really kick you in the balls. Like, you still get things to unlock. You still can come back a little bit stronger to try that again. And also you're armed with the knowledge of, don't do that. When you do die in this game, you kind of you do remember what mistake you made to die. There is another aspect of this game that really is the risk reward side of things. So you get experience in a game by either killing enemies, or by mining minerals, very similar to Deep Rock Galactic. With those levels, you get, either weapon upgrades for yourself, whether that be health, whether it be all weapons, one weapon. You can unlock more weapons as you get certain levels in the weapons, then you unlock special abilities, as in fire, electricity damage, those sort of things. So what can happen is that you start to get a bit greedy trying to get as much XP as possible, and then you can get in situations where risk and reward, right? Like there's times that you just need to bug out, and there's times that you need to stay around and farm a little bit of XP just because you know that next part of the mine will be a little bit easier if you're 1 or 2 levels higher. The other thing is too, when you're selecting out of the 3 columns, and again, it is very much that sort of top-down roguelike shooter where you've got, the choice of 3 when it comes to every level. With this game, it does it very well that you can kind of build a bit more of a strategy or a setup just from the get-go. So I've won missions a multitude of different ways by different setups. So you can just sort of lean into what your strengths are and sort of play those different game types. And that's what I say, like the game is a little bit repetitive, but it's not the same. It more rhymes than it is the same. And it just sings. Like it's been a while. Like I really like Greedland. That's probably the last one that I liked out of these sort of top-down roguelikes. But this is really, really good. This is probably one of the better ones that are out there in the market. And especially if you've got Game Pass and you're already paying for it, I cannot recommend enough to get this game just because of how accessible it is. There are like 1 or 2, problems with the game. Every now and then there's like an enemy or 2 that glitched out. I think a lack of a co-op, like even just if it was 2-player, that would be so addictive. So it's a little bit of a shame that, there isn't that sort of setup here, just because I think that would be a really nice game mode to explore. But I mean, these things are pretty, small detractions from a very, very accomplished and a very, very satisfying game that just has you hooked. It just makes you want to go down and get more minerals. Then, so when you come back with the minerals and certain unlocks, you'll have challenges that you need to do as well. You get currencies, you get, obviously the mineral set, whether it be cobalt or whatever mineral it is, and then you can unlock more things for your character that you permanently keep. There's also items, which I haven't really upgraded just because, you keep going up levels so little at the start of the game that there's no real point in upgrading those weapons and those items, just because I think they'll be quite redundant as you go along. But yeah, so, and the other thing is that in between every single level, if you have a nitra and gold, you can buy upgrades as well. So it is important to sort of make sure that you're farming that as you go along. I think the other big thing that this game does, where a lot of these sort of survivor games don't, is that there's a supply crate that comes in halfway through. You have to clear it out. It's a bit of a to-do to get it, but if you get it, it can give very strong upgrades that can go along. And, it can be things that can set you up that, there might be a percentage chance that you'll farm some gold just by mining, a whatever rock, or it could be like 10% more damage throughout the entire run. Just a whole mess of different things. And again, it's a very risk reward. Sometimes you're not in a position where you can get it, and other times, or it might be risk reward that it's like, man, this game's might be kicking my butt, but I'm going to build something for the future here and hope for the best. The other thing is if you don't kill the elite that you've got to do in every single round quick enough, the mobs get harder and harder till eventually they just overwhelm you. I've tried to just see how long I could just survive, and to be honest, it's not really that far. So you can't just farm XP. The game really has really hit that balance of no. You'll play this our way. You'll play this our way. You'll have fun. You can kind of go on your own adventure, but you are on our timeline. You are on our time limit here, so go through and do things. There's 4 character types. I've only really played the 1. I tried out the other 3, so there's definitely more more things that you can go down there. There's like a scout, which is faster and dodges and does more things. There's a gunner, which has much heavier weapons. There's an engineer, which kind of drones turrets, all those sort of things, and has faster XP growth. I've just been going with the driller just because we've leveled it up from the start, so it's all pretty well good to go. And then I might start stuffing around some other things. But yeah, it's what I think this is in the Is It Fun review sort of metric that we have. It's a series where, we just say, is a game fun, instead of giving it out of 10, and this game is definitely fun. It gets the RetalinLive recommends. I think We went 3 reviews without a recommend, so I'm kind of glad that we're away from Garfield Kart and we're back to some good stuff. Yeah, we got Sonic Kart Racer coming up soon, so yeah, I just think, like, especially for the price point, even if you want to buy it, it's nowhere near full price. There's so much game here. I think there's 300 different achievements. To be able to complete it all, it'll take a very long time. Very similar to Deep Rock Galactic. Probably not the same amount of time as Deep Rock Galactic, but it'll be a lot of time to complete everything in this. So there's endless of hours. You can just pick it up as you go along. Yeah, I really... And it runs so smoothly, too. That's the other thing. There's a lot of mobs on your screen. There's a lot of things happening on your screen, but it runs quite smoothly. And I was never really taken out of the action, had any frame rate drops or anything on those lines. And I think I'm hearing the same things with the PC, so... highly recommend. Anyway, that is the whole review. If you didn't make it this far, hit the subscribe button because we're a wee little baby channel and that really does help us out. Comment down below. Have you played this game? Did you enjoy it? Are you thinking about getting it? What? If you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? I just like to get all sort of sides of the story here. Just because I like a game doesn't mean everyone else doesn't like it. It might not be your cup of tea. And it's good to get that knowledge for future reviews. And hit the like button because then it algorithms it to other people and it algorithms it and then they like it and then it algorithms it again. Especially with, like, I think there's a whole YouTube algorithm thing, which I just think they've cleaned up a few things. But people are complaining. People are whinging. So, yeah. So, likes, I think, help it. Anyway, I'm going to edit this up, cut this up, and get on out of here. I'm Brenton. This is RetalinLive. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out of here. Bye.